Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and I guess we'll start like we normally do. Laurie, could you lead us in O Canada?
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all our sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land, glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
And Lauren, could I ask you to say grace for us, please?
Bless us, O Lord, and these your gifts, which we have received and are about to receive from your bounty, through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. So at this point, it's the chairperson self-introduction, and it's my first time being the chairperson here at Rotary. I don't have a microphone, so I'll speak as loudly as I can, but if you can't hear me, just let me know. And just before I introduce myself, Jim asked me to mention that when I go through the reports, because he's videotaping it and it's a small room, if I could get you to come up when you give your report, that would be great. So I'm Alex Stevenson. I was born in Halifax, and growing up I lived in Ontario and a little bit in the United States. I moved to Truro. My family and I moved to Truro just over a year ago, where we met our first person, I think, in Truro pretty much was Sharon Corcoran, our fabulous real estate agent. She found us a great house and introduced me to Rotary. I'm married. My wife, Natalie. We have 2 children, a son, Gavin, who's 4, a daughter, Caitlin, who's 2. I work for TD Bank as a business advisor, and I've been with TD for 14 years. In my spare time, I started coaching soccer this past summer, sort of by necessity, as my son was in soccer. He just started hockey now, so now I'm on the ice with him on Saturday mornings. I also volunteer weekly with Junior Achievement. For interests, I like outdoor activities. As much as I can, I like to play golf and water ski in the summertime, and in the wintertime I like to ski, and I've added skating now. Again, the hockey connection there. I've been in Rotary about a year. I think it's coming up on 1 year at the end of the month. It's been a great experience, and I'm very happy to be part of it. And that's me. So I guess we'll start with an attendance report.
68%.
68%. Thank you, Adam. Fun finds. Dave?
Fun finds. Today, our new council is being sworn in. We wish them all the best. But if you've never been to a council meeting, say what? Don't think anybody should do it. Just a question. If you've never been there, okay.
Watching it on TV.
Everybody's watching on TV for 30 seconds.
That was enough.
Our pain threshold is low.
You can't put 2 in and take 4 out.
Oh, really?
You guys.
Pretty nice. Sweet. Yeah.
You're running this here. Okay.
And next, I'd like to call on happy Rotarians to come up for the Rotary Happy Mug.
How's that being proficient
Need any names wrong?
I'm happy to say that the CEC boys soccer team got bronze on the weekend at Bridgewater. And it is their CEC's first medal in soccer in 41 years.
My son was curling this weekend at the Lakeshore Cash Field, Junior Cash Field. Started Friday, finished Sunday. 18 teams, finished second. And the team they lost to was the Acadia University varsity team that last year went to nationals. So did all right, all things considered, for first field. Oh, and tonight, death match, Topley, Bejan, 6:15.
My brother and I had a wonderful week in Cuba. We got to visit the Memorial Che Guevara, the train derailment site. Che and his team derailed the train Baptista had loaded with soldiers. We're in Trinidad, the oldest city in the country. Cienfuegos, one of the off Spain historical areas for architecture, for Spanish architecture. And we did a whole lot of other stuff in between. Things happening in the country. People are now allowed to sell a home and buy one, sell a car and buy one. They're allowed to open their own business. They've approved 110 so far, small enterprises. And they're allowed to get a loan from the National Bank. So these are brand new moves for Cubans. Small steps for them, or big steps for them, I guess, but small steps for us. But anyway, Harper had a wonderful time.
I'd like to donate my last loonie to the world. My daughter has just moved into a new house in Dartmouth, so I'm much lighter in loonies. Thank you.
It's good to be back. I was in Costa Rica for 10 days, celebrated my 50th birthday, and Mother Nature...
Happy belated.
Yeah, thank you very much. Mother Nature helped out. We had a little earthquake, 6.3, as we were having supper. It was kind of exciting for me. The locals didn't think so, but I thought it was kind of cool. So, but it's good to be back home.
I'm not as well traveled as these guys, but on Friday I ventured down to the community college and was in the Ryla program, which was awesome. Helped interview some kids, and the 5 that we interviewed with portfolios, if the other students did 10% of what they do, we'd have tremendous schools and tremendous community. But anyway, there were some pretty incredible people, and Steve ran an excellent program. I mean, it was just great. The first time I was there, but I really, really enjoyed it. It was awesome. He even donated $2 because I didn't have any change.
So, do we have any visiting Rotarians today? Introduction of guests. Any visiting guests? We have Craig Matthews, who I'll formally introduce shortly. 50-50 draw. So I guess I have to reach in and... Oh, I take it, that's right, bring this around.
Maybe Craig.
Get you to reach in and grab a ticket, pass it back to me. So the ticket is, looks like there's 2 sets of tickets. So this one is 445 671. It's yellow. 445 671. We have a winner. Dale.
Want to share, Dale?
We'll think about that later, Al.
I'll give you another $50 ticket right now.
Just to verify.
Money now.
Okay. Yeah, correct.
No. Joker was found.
Jerseys.
No, Al.
How much?
75.
Woo!
75.
Nice going, Dale.
Thanks, everybody.
That's not thanks
we have a report on member health? Member health.
I did see Richard Bonus on Saturday. I think he was shoplifting or shopping at the dollar store. He looks good. His face is a little slimmer, but he's looking good. He's out and about, so that's good.
Just to follow up, I spoke with him this morning. He's halfway through his treatments, and he will be finished on the 23rd. He's staying down for the treatments. He's staying down in Halifax. 5 minutes for whether during the treatments, and he's quite happy with all that.
Good. Excellent. So on the agenda here, I have committee reports and next week's program. I think I'll just maybe skip to next week's program.
There is no meeting next week in Remembrance Day. The week after, the chair is Mark Mason, and the guest speaker is Erica Penton, who was the young lady who was here a couple weeks ago. She's with the Colchester East Hants Public Library Services.
Okay, thank you. Committee reports. And again, if you could come up when you give your report, that would be great. So we'll start with, I guess, the Secretary's report.
No, committee reports.
Sorry? Committee reports? Sorry. Sorry, Steve.
Well, thanks, Jim, for your comment on the RILA program. I just want to give everybody an update on how it went, in case you were wondering. The unfortunate part of the day is we didn't have a really good student turnout for the day, which was unfortunate. Even less than what had pre-registered. We had a couple of students that had to hang back for exams. I spoke to the guidance counselors this morning, and I give them credit. They really did push it with their schools. But with soccer regionals, they hit the exact same day, pulled a lot of kids away. And unfortunately, we finished off the day with 8 students that showed up. 5 of those had portfolios. High quality kids that came, but a definite decrease from almost 30 that we had the year before. Again, our costs are kind of in line with what students show up, because we only pay for what we have anyway. So it still worked out fine. Thanks to all the Rotarians that came and supported the day. It was absolutely excellent. And we had a couple of guest speakers. Sean Evans was there with one of his players. We had Andrew Ketty there from Toastmasters. So the students that came I thought was a great day. And everything that I have done in PowerPoint, so I could roll it off in 5 minutes if I had to again. But thanks again to everybody. It actually was a great day. And to let you know, we did award Sally Faulkner, which I believe is an employee of Less's, with a $500 bursary for the day. And again, had a great portfolio done up and had an excellent interview. So again, we did award that for the day as well. So that's a kind of an update. If you have any questions, please let me know. But it really was a good day. Thank you.
And next, Secretary's report.
I got another committee report here. Folks, I told you that November was Foundation Month. And I'm here to talk to you a little bit about our foundation, which is hopefully the Rotarians' charity of choice. Now, last week when I was here, I told you that we had 8 people who had signed up for regular contributions to the foundation. Right after that meeting, I received 2 checks for over $100 each from 2 Rotarians. And this morning I helped somebody sign up themselves. Jim Goyt tells me he signed up 2 people this morning. So there's another one. So I mean, people have been going on the website, which you can do very easily, by the way. Just go on to the member access and then pick the Rotary Foundation, and there's a place to do it either on an annual basis or on a monthly basis if you prefer to. Now you'll notice here I brought along this little chart, which is the Rotary wheel, which is Rotary International's symbol. And what I've done here is I've colored in each one of these spokes. I've got 4 of them done, and they represent 2.5 Rotarians. So that means that we had 10 when I did this chart, and now I have to update it, of course, more, and we'll probably fill in another couple of spaces. But I just wanted to thank everybody for their contributions to the foundation. You know, we're looking to get to $100 per Rotarian every year, the Every Rotarian Every Year campaign. And what's really important, if you go onto the site and pick which category you're going to be contributing to, there's what's called the APF, which is the Annual Planned Giving Fund. But there's one called Share. It's the very first one. That's the one to pick. And because what happens there is 50% of all the dollars that we give to the Rotary Foundation this year comes back to our district in 3 years' time. That's the way that Rotary shares it. And that's how we get to fund projects like the one that Lydia is doing right now, for instance. So it's really important that you pick that APF share category. So if anybody needs any help, I'll be glad to come to people's offices, go to people's homes. Yes, Dave?
Can you go in and change, if you check something else previously, can you go in and change it to share? Anyone?
Oh yeah, I think you could, yeah. And if you can't, there's a contact in there that you can just send an email to them and ask them to redirect those funds to the share. Okay. So I'm not really mentioning names of people who are contributing to the fund. People give for different reasons. People also have other charities that they choose to support, and I'm not suggesting that you have to do this. Please don't mistake my my ramblings here for strong-arming you, because that's not what it's intended to do, but it's just to make sure that Rotary International Foundation stays top of mind when you're thinking about where you want to give your charitable dollars. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brian.
And next is the President's report.
Jim, did you share? Oh, Secretary.
Oh, sorry, Secretary's report.
Okay, thanks, Alex. So just two things. One is we got a thank you from Judd Pearson, who came and did the presentation to us on the voting, electronic voting for Truro Town Council. And I understand from the reports, like we were one of the highest in the province, I think, like 48%. I think that was one of the highest, so that was awesome. So I guess it would. So the next thing is, unfortunately, I'm doing all the birthdays and stuff for the whole month, so you got to listen to me for a minute. So in birthdays, we have several birthdays in November. Heather Ann Grant celebrated a birthday on November the 1st. Mike Michaud celebrated a birthday on November the 3rd. Christine Blair will be celebrating a birthday on Wednesday, November the 7th. Garth Coffin on November the 7th as well. Lloyd Cody has a birthday on November the 16th. Will Ross has a birthday on November the 19th. And our newest member, Audrey Jo McConkey, sorry, did I get that right? I think so. On November the 21st. So that's all the birthdays. So then on to anniversaries, and our president, Lori Sanderson, is celebrating her 22nd anniversary, or she did, I'm sorry, on November the 3rd, with Mike. And Michael Collins with Christelle is celebrating his 2nd anniversary on November the 6th. And so that's it for the anniversaries. And then joining of Rotary, Grant Langford, 26 years ago on November 1st, 1986. Ed McDonald, 20 years ago on November 1st, 1992. Congratulations. Garth Coffin, 14 years ago on November the 9th, 1998. Paul Clark, 1 year ago, November 21st, 2011. And Alex had said, Alexander Stevenson, 1 year, November the 21st, 2011. And Keith Gillis, 3 years on November the 23rd, 2009. So congratulations. Birthday. Yeah, there you go.
Now the President's report.
Yes.
Thanks, Alex.
Well, I was fortunate to participate briefly in the RILA event on Friday of last week. I was asked to bring some welcoming remarks from the Rotary Club of Truro, and they may have been small in numbers, but I'll tell you, they had a really, really wonderful day with Steve. First, right off the bat, Steve said, okay, I want people to introduce themselves, but he did it in a very unique way that immediately turned on their leadership skills and thinking. They had to come up to the front and sit in a chair next to the person that they were going to introduce and interview them, ask them 3 questions, and it was a really neat way of breaking the ice and getting them thinking about stepping up and public speaking and all that. So hats off to Steve for, again, a wonderful day for students. I think we need to maybe go visit some of our Interact clubs a little bit before the event and really talk it up with the Interactors, because you know, the club at CEC has 30+ members and South Colchester has 10 people, so there's a pool of people already thinking about Rotary, and we might be able to do a little bit more to get them out. It's a great day. I had the good fortune to attend a Dalhousie School of Agriculture Awards banquet last week to recognize all the award winners, and the Rotary Club of Truro presented a master's student from Sri Lanka with a $1,000 bursary. So we got, the way they set it up was the sponsor sat with the person receiving the award, and we got to know a little bit about them. She's studying in environmental sciences and doing work on extracting bioactives from apples and blueberries, so I was quite interested in that kind of work. So we had a good night, and there's a directors meeting tomorrow night. How many people think they can attend? That looks like a good number, and it's at Al Hollis's house, correct? In Onslow?
11 Pleasant View Drive.
11
kilometer past the school on the right.
Right.
You just turn up left and it's the first driveway on the left.
Okay,
The old Goodspeed's place, if anybody knows where that is.
okay. So that's tomorrow at 7. All are welcome. If anybody else would like to come, you really hear about the business of the Rotary Club of Truro. And at this time, I would like to call upon Wayne Gillis, our assistant district governor, who has a formal report to the club. He's wearing his official assistant district governor hat. So welcome, Wayne.
Thank you. Thanks, President Laurie. Greetings from District Governor Tom McCaughey and the entire District 7820 team. This is just a very short report that we held a leadership meeting of the district this past weekend, Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday morning at the Holiday Inn at the airport. There was 15 to 20, and I guess maybe at one time in the afternoon on Saturday there was about 25 people present. As you may know, District 7820 is comprised of about 1,600 Rotarians in the provinces of Nova Scotia, PEI, Newfoundland, Labrador, and the French islands of St. Pierre and Miquelon. It's the largest geographical, or one of the largest geographical districts in the Rotary world, and that is seems to be a continuing cause of financial challenges for the district. I'll just give you a few comments on what was accomplished there. The meeting was very well done, a lot of fellowship, a lot of good discussion. Some challenges that are facing the district were faced, and we're making good progress. First thing is the district convention is May 23rd to 27th in Halifax, so you'll be hearing lots about that in the next few and several months. One of the additional things that you'll be hearing about is the Rotary Foundation, how that will be changing the grant process, and Brian alluded to mentioned the fact that 50% comes back through the district and available for the clubs. So that's going to be quite a change. It'll require some training of some people at the club level, and that will be taking place this winter. We had a good update from Treasurer Jeff Party on the finances of the district, and things are going along quite well there. We'll probably end up this year with a deficit again, an operating deficit for the year, but we do have a surplus to cover that. Time for Rotary was talked about. It's the video that's about recruiting Rotary members, or potential Rotary members, and that's encouraged that everybody acknowledge that, see that, and friend it on your Facebook. One of the speaker on Saturday was Triana Fusco. She lives and works in Pictou County, and she gave a presentation on Rotary Peace and Conflict Resolution, and she is a former Rotary Peace Scholarship recipient. Carl, she would be a very good speaker at lunch hour, and I have her email if you'd like to get that. An e-club has started in the district there. Past District Governor Gord Hankin is involved in that. Are you involved in that, Jim? Yeah. So if anybody's interested in that, fine. The traditional pets and sets training of that Friday night and all day Saturday training that has gone on in the past for president-elects and secretary-elects of clubs, that looks like it's going to be discontinued and replaced by mini conferences of a Saturday morning only, likely, and there will be more of them so that we can cut down on the travel expenses and this sort of thing. So that'll be, I think, a good thing. Jim Goit was there for the weekend and gave a presentation on social media that was well received. The Cross Canada Tour, have we ever had any participants in the Cross Canada Tour from the Truro area? I don't think so. It's where young people go on a tour across Canada, basically by train, sometimes stay in hotels, but mostly are billeted at Rotarians' homes across Canada. And that is up in the air whether that will continue for this year. The last thing I'll mention is that the district is going to be compiling a list of fundraising ideas, and they'll be contacting the clubs so that the clubs can give a few sentences, several sentences, description of a fundraising idea, to share those ideas amongst all the clubs in the district, hopefully to help out those clubs that are looking for additional or replacement fundraisers for their clubs. So it was a very worthwhile weekend. I don't know if Jim wants to add anything to that, but our next meeting will be in February, and we continue to have board meetings every month through GoToMeeting, which is a web-based communication tool. And so lots happening at the district to try to support the clubs as best we can. So, thank you.
And now it's my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker today, and that is Craig Matthews. And Craig, I'll get you come up here in just one sec. I'm just going to do a little bit of an intro for you. Craig is with a group called, or represents a group called Mighty Oaks, and I'll just quickly read the mission statement and then a little bit about it. So their mission is to create a safe place to build self-worth and participate in a life enrichment program that fosters a sense of community and provides an opportunity to fuel both the mind and body for a day of learning. In April 2012, with the help of co-workers, a program called Mighty Oaks was born. It began with the idea of trying to help the most needy and the hungriest kids in Truro. After years of experience working with kids who just didn't seem to get what they needed to start a day of learning, they decided something had to be done. Children were arriving without having had a chance to clean up or eat breakfast. They were not ready for a day of learning. These same children were arriving without anything for recess or lunch and were having a difficult time interacting with the other kids. The Band-Aid solution of giving them a baggie of Cheerios and a juice pack from the existing cafeteria breakfast program was not enough. The need was greater. So they're currently growing the program to include 3 meals a week. And Craig, I think I'll let you just sort of talk more about it, so if you wouldn't mind coming up and just tell us about it.
Not sure if the slideshow is going to work or not. So thank you very much for having me visit with you today. It's an honor for you to take time out of your day to listen to me and let me be your keynote speaker. I'd like to acknowledge the work you guys do in the community. In my mind, you're not thanked enough. So from me to you, thank you very much. My name is Craig Matthews, and I'm from Truro, and I've been living here since 1976. I'm married to a wonderful woman, Diana, and we have a 6-month-old son, Silas. I work at Truro Elementary, and I'm a captain with the Truro Volunteer Fire Brigade. Like all of you, I give a lot of my time to the community to try and make it a better place to raise a family. Recently, I started up and became the leader of a program called Mighty Oaks. Before I get into exactly how Mighty Oaks got underway, Mighty Oaks got underway and what we're all about, I'd like to ask for your participation in an activity. I'm going to ask a series of questions. This is by no means to single anyone out, but to prove a point about Mighty Oaks. If you can answer yes to any of my questions, please raise your hand. Who woke up this morning and had a hot shower before starting your day?
Take a good shower.
Who had a hot breakfast or was able to go to the pantry where they had a choice of 5 or 6 different cereals to choose from? Last night, before going to bed, who had a bed night snack or maybe had someone tell them they love them?
Nice snack.
When coming here today, who was able to put on clean, fresh clothes? Lastly, how many of you know where your next meal is coming from? Thank you for participating. As you can tell, most of us are very fortunate to have a good upbringing, people who care about us, and a roof over our heads, and food in our cupboards. We sometimes take for granted the clean clothes in our drawers and the hot water in our taps. Not everyone in our town is so lucky. Now going back a bit, this past Christmas, my grandfather passed away. Like a lot of big families in Nova Scotia might experience, the funeral was large with family coming from all over North America. We had a wonderful celebration of my grandfather's life, a man who always tried to help those in need. During this time, I was speaking with my family about the challenges I face as an educational assistant at the elementary school. I've been an educational assistant for 12 years now. It's always been my responsibility to look after the kids with the worst behavioral issues. I learned over those years that the bad behavior comes partly from the children not getting exactly what they need at home. The children aren't fed properly, they don't have a bath on a regular basis, and their home life is in tatters. This doesn't lead to a good start for a day of learning. The children are coming to school grumpy, tired, and unwilling to try. It is very hard to convince a child to work when they have so much else going on in their life. Imagine trying to learn on an empty stomach and wearing dirty socks. These children are frustrated because they're already behind the 8 ball and school hasn't even started. My Uncle Pat Lipton, who some of you might know, said to me, "Well, do something about it then." I took that to heart and spent the rest of Christmas break thinking about that. Thinking about what my grandfather might do in this situation and the advice he might give me. What these kids needed was a way to feel strong and proud, to feel like they had many branches of support and roots in the community, much like a tree. A few months later, Mighty Oaks was born. Studies show that children who start school with a good breakfast will learn much better than those who don't. Breakfast improves overall nutritional status and supports healthy living by providing approximately 25% of daily nutritional needs. Studies clearly indicate that a healthy breakfast positively affects students' performance. Well-nourished students are ready to learn. They have more energy and are less distracted by hunger. With those thoughts in mind, a few of my coworkers and I began with the idea of offering a select group of the neediest kids a hot breakfast every Monday morning. We were starting small, but believed this was a great place to start. We had a limited budget, an anonymous donation was received to get the program started, and felt that Monday was a great day to begin with because we hadn't seen the kids all weekend. They probably hadn't eaten 3 square meals a day on Saturday or Sunday, and getting them off to the right start was our main focus. At this time, our school has a general breakfast program. Like most schools, where the children can get a baggie full of Cheerios, maybe some cheese, or a few slices of apple. Unfortunately, if you didn't eat dinner the night before, a baggie of Cheerios is just not cutting it. That's why I believe having a program like Mighty Oaks is so important. The kids who really need a full breakfast have the opportunity to get it. The unique thing we wanted to incorporate in serving these kids a hot breakfast was that they actually learn the skills to make the meal themselves. With our startup money, we purchased griddles and toasters and everything needed to prepare breakfast. The kids learned at our very first breakfast about flipping a pancake, what tools to use, the simplest things as tying an apron and wearing a hat so their hair doesn't fall into their breakfast. The children learned the responsibility of doing the dishes and putting things away after the meal. They worked together to make up a chore list that they'd have to do every Monday. The children all ate together at a large table. When we first began, there were 29 kids in our program. They sat together at one big table and talked about their weekends. The volunteers also sat with the kids and enjoyed the meal that they cooked. We all talked about our weekends, but also took time to speak with the kids on an individual basis. This was very important time for the kids. If they had noticed that someone took time to listen, it might have lit the spark to get them off to a right start for the week. After hearing positive feedback from staff on how the kids were doing after just 30 minutes with us on a Monday, we tried to think about what else we could do. We added a second component to Mighty Oaks. We decided on having a hot lunch every Wednesday. Again, the kids prepared the meal with the help of the Truro elementary staff volunteers. The very first Wednesday, the children made spaghetti and meat sauce. Not surprising, it was the first time for some of the children. The reviews were fantastic. Again, this special group of kids went back to class and they were ready to learn. They now had a full stomach. They had time to speak with an adult about good things or bad, and they felt special, maybe for only the second time that week. We also got permission from our principal, Michael Price, to pull the Mighty Oak children out of class on Friday afternoon and do some sort of physical activity. Most days we play outside, clean up garbage, but again, all this time to focus on positive behavior and learn skills from all activities that the kids could bring home and use in real life. So I'm here today to ask for your help. I was referred to your group by two of my fellow staff members. They told me that you often give donations to community groups. I believe Mighty Oaks would be a very good group for you to give to. At this time, we have a meager balance in our bank account. To fundraise, we currently hold a 50-50 draw among our staff where we raise about $40 a week. Unfortunately, our weekly budget is just over $80. Our goal now is to raise enough money so we can continue to serve meals to those 2 days and also provide a snack for the 29 kids 5 days a week. With more money in our account, it might be feasible to have hot breakfast 5 days a week, or at least every second day. To expand the program further, we'd love to have enough money to buy the Mighty Oak children mittens and hats in the winter. We'd like to look at opportunities to buy them new sneakers, or perhaps have some donated from local businesses. We're looking for toothbrushes and hygiene kits also. If the program grew enough, we'd love to be able to send the kids home with snacks or food for the weekends. Wouldn't it be great if we give the kids a box of food to bring home for the holidays? We'd also like to expand the group if possible. We currently have 29 kids, but actually had to refuse some kids from being part of our group. At the beginning of this school year, teachers took time to refer kids to our program. They based their references on 4 different categories: hunger, nutrition, social skills, and healthy lifestyle. My committee and I then looked through all the referrals and selected the absolute neediest children. Another factor we took into account was age. We thought it would be best to select the older children in our group. The thought behind this being the more skills we can teach them now before they head off to junior high, the better off they'd be. So there are some younger children that would certainly benefit from being part of Mighty Oaks, who've had to be left out at the time being. If we were to receive a generous donation, one of the first things we do is to look through our list again and welcome more children into our group. We have plenty of staff to volunteer and help the children. Our limiting factor is simply not having the money to support the program. With financial assistance, the future of Mighty Oaks looks very strong. We already have our first group of kids that have moved on to junior high, and reports are they're doing quite well. As a side note, because of the wonderful results we saw, some of the staff who volunteered with us last year, who are now working at other schools, are trying to get Mighty Oaks programs started at their new schools. Like I said before, we currently have 29 kids in our program and serve them 2 meals a week. Our vision for future includes inviting 10 to 15 more students into the program and hopefully serving them 6 to 8 meals a week. For this to happen, we need your help. If the Rotary Club would be gracious enough to make a monetary donation, we thank you monthly in our newsletter. We'd recognize you on our school website and also have your logo printed on our aprons. You'd have the opportunity to volunteer at our school and help with breakfast or lunch, and maybe offer some of your wisdom on how to make our program better. Thank you very much for your time today. It's been a pleasure to speak to you about Mighty Oaks. It's a program that Truro Elementary School staff will continue to embrace and help grow into something even better. Mighty Oaks is committed to providing an in-school life enrichment program that promotes healthy lifestyles and increased self-esteem through positive social interaction with peers and adults. I hope you can help.
For a second. And I'd ask Ed McDonald to come up here, and on behalf of the Rotary, thank you very much.
Questions?
And questions.
Craig, I take it the parents of the children in this program are aware the children are in the program, and what has been their reaction?
Well, they are aware, and the way we sort of have spun it, that we've congratulated the kids and welcomed them into our group. We've thanked the parents for the work they do at home, but we try to keep most of it a secret, not from the parents, but more made it a social skills group, that the kids would receive all the benefits from the staff, and try not to concentrate on the lack of support they're getting from home, and more made it a positive thing that their kids are going to be with other adults, if you can understand what I mean.
It must be a delicate answer.
No, absolutely, you're right. We actually have had parents refuse putting their kids in the program because they didn't want to face the fact that maybe they were having a tough time providing for their children, and it's something that I deal with every week. I usually get a phone call or two about it. Parents complain about what the food we actually serve them, things like that. But it is, we do have to dance around it a little bit, yes.
So the parents don't have to sign any submissions?
Oh, no, they do. Yeah, like every other club we have at the school, choir, band, jogging club, they have to be aware of what their children are doing, yes.
So they sign a permission to them to go with this?
Yep. Sure.
Craig, how many students do you have in your school?
600.
600.
Craig, are you asking us for a startup assistance or an ongoing assistance funding?
Well, if the money was ongoing, that'd be fantastic.
I'm asking what you're asking for.
The original idea was one donation. If I would love to talk about making it an ongoing, whether that was monthly or yearly, we could talk about that as well. That'd be fantastic.
I'm not offering it.
No, I'm
What's the ratio of male, boy and girls in the group?
Well, right now with the 29 kids, we're at about 23 of them are boys.
Why is that?
Because there are only 6 girls.
Were girls turned down, they didn't apply, or?
No, well, it started from the teachers. The teachers, because the boys are worse behaved. If you want to hear the honest truth, the boys are the worst behaved, so that it stands out a little bit more. And like I said, the behavior comes from not being ready for school. Like I said before, just being behind the 8 ball a little bit more than everybody else. The girls might not stand out as much to the teachers. Like I said, I've been doing the job for 12 years. All the students I've worked with, there's only been one female. I usually get assigned 4 or 5 kids in my behavioral program I work with. This year I have 9 boys in my program, no girls.
Craig, on behalf of the Rotary Club, what's more important than needy children in Truro? What's more important than self-worth? And I really do think that anything you can do, anything we can do to mitigate the frustrations of children against the wall of hunger, isolationism, is a wonderfully and important, satisfying experience. However, I'd like to thank you on behalf of the Rotary Club for all you're doing for the little acorns that they turn one day into mighty oaks of the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Well done.
So at this point, is there any further business to conduct? With that, I will adjourn the meeting.